Hey guys, what is up? And welcome back to Sandaria Broadcast System. It is me, your host Charlie, along with Shane. I have returned from being out of town. I do apologize for being gone. I hope he didn't cause you too many issues while I was gone.
Say so, maybe. Maybe just a little bit easy. Yeah, couldn't really couldn't tell you that for sure though, you know what I'm saying? But overall, today what overall I should say. Yeah, we had fun. We had fun. Sad that Dom is sadly not here today. He's busy and we're all sorry that we had to postpone. It's just life issues, gotta get through it. But here we are today. I know we're 2 days out from the next episode, but we just wanted to give you our thoughts review on Andor episode 6 because arguably I think everybody's considering this one to be the best. Um, and it is, in my opinion, this was the best episode that we have gotten for Andor. I could, yeah, I could definitely argue that this is definitely the best episode we got for Andor. The I think I was talking about this. I've said that like if they're following the 1, 2, 3, and the third episode of that arc is the big climax, and episode 3's climax, and that episode was amazing. Episode 6, this episode obviously was the same way. It was amazing. It was a good climax to what we've been planning and building up to. The last two maybe could have felt slow for some of you. It could have felt like we got on a lot, but also like felt like nothing happened. But this was the big payout for all of us, and holy shit, it was a really good episode. Um, Overall, just I, how they showed the point of views, how they showed the tense of the situation because of where everybody was doing, like how you have to get into the facility, how you have to act, how you have to walk, how you have to talk to pretend to be the Empire. Andor kind of already knows this. He's already done it before. He's already fully gotten in. He's already fully become like done this before. So, well, it's just interesting to see how it is. And then it's very interesting to see that it's not an Imperial garrison here. There's no troopers. There's no like anything. This is like a standard Imperial army unit. You know, is a standard Imperial like guard unit, just making sure. I wouldn't, in my opinion, I wouldn't have placed around 80 million and more like fucking credits onto a nowhere planet. But I also get why the Empire's a little cocky in this time period. They've gotten so much, they've felt so little resistance, or any resistance they've had, they've been able to just smash it under their toes. And I get putting credits in nowhere and making it look like and Dora's right. This facility was like impossible to breach without the way they planned it. If they had planned a full-on assault, it would have failed. It would have died, and they all would have been killed. But like how they got in, how they faked it was better. And also, it just shows you the Empire's cockiness about their things now. But it also, I was telling part of this before we started the episode. We also get to see the Imperial perspective side of how they're also humans. The Imperial Commandant has a family. He has a kid. He has a wife. These people are people, and to see that side from him, and as much as you didn't really care about the character at all, or maybe you kind of did, you kind of had that sympathy for him, or you didn't care for him at all, you at least got to see that Imperial perspective, and it really shows you because I'm really happy it's kind of showing you the rebels aren't the good guys. They're not, but not the good guys yet. I would say, they're fighting for a good cause, and but you can still fight for a good cause and still be considered bad guys or not the greatest of people because you can be doing terrible actions, you can do terrible things to get the greater of that cause. So the rebels are not the best people right now. There are some rebel cells that are good, like Phoenix Squadron and our lovely rebels that we've seen before, like what's their names called? Ezra, Sabine, Kanan, Hera, like all Zeb. They're all good guys, and they are all like they're the good parts of the rebel cells. You can definitely say that, but their rebel cells there are not good. They fight for their own things, and you can also and we'll get into our other later guy later, but you can also see that the rebels do not do the best of actions, and some of them fight for themselves. But really, get your thoughts.
I really enjoyed the episode. I always love a good heist, like showing. And that's exactly what this was. It was a heist. It was beautifully done and executed. But just like every other heist, there's something that always goes wrong. They didn't plan for the Imperial comm guy to be actually on his game about his job and sitting there like, why aren't we getting any comms? Why are we getting this one comm that's not us? And then like tracing it back and all of that. That was like really, really good on his part. But yeah, going back to like the rebels aren't the good guys, but nor is the Empire. It's all perspective. Like that's what I've been saying since before Andor started. When we started talking Andor, is it's all perspective because to the Empire, what they're doing is good. Obviously, there's some bad shit that happens. That's just the military. That's like how the military operates. Is there's going to be bad shit that happens, regardless of how good your intentions are. But then you have the rebels. They're fighting for a just cause, but their methods aren't
like exactly.
clean.
Like I said, like they're fighting for a good cause. Methods and actions that they're taking to get to said good cause, not good. You know? And I have to admit, I'm a very Empire person, and I'm very Imperial sympathetic towards a lot of the Empire.
Yeah, just check out his TikTok. It's nothing but Empire love.
Oh my
Empire.
god, I've been posting a lot of Empire shit.
Imperial scum.
But like, does the Empire fight for? Do they have terrible leaders who are doing terrible things? Yes, they do. It's Emperor Palpatine. It's called Darth Vader. It's called Grand Moff Tarkin. It's called a shit ton of people. You know, that are up there. That are doing bad shit. You know, like the Senate's fully corrupt. Like we're not gonna just get. We're just gonna steamroll past that though. But like, the Empire is also in a way the good guys from their perspective and from how they're doing their things. They have brought order, peace, stability, and security to after like 3 years of just madness and war. You know, like from certain perspectives, the empires are the good guys. You know, yes, but like I've also argued this, and I have to go into a small little tangent and rant. But like, let's admit, the Republic weren't the best at all. They were corrupt. They had Palpatine, his own way was right. They were corrupt. They had the bureaucrats running everything. The bureaucrats were doing and infiltrating their own thing and playing their own games. The Republic Senate couldn't get anything done. The Republic was, in my opinion, actually a failed government. And in my opinion, if you look at it from the Empire's perspective, the Empire shattered through that, brought order, peace, stability, and security to the galaxy. You know? But like,
hold on. We gotta address this. We gotta address this.
I am not saying the Jedi are evil. The Jedi are technically not a part. Well, yes, they kind of are. Okay, when I'm talking about the Republic, I like the Galactic Republic. I am talking about the Senate and how it was ran and how it was done. That entire area is corrupt. But the Jedi aren't also the best either. They were at their. I think we've all talked about. Me and Troy have definitely talked about this multiple times. That Jedi Order was a failed Jedi Order. It was not the Jedi Order it was supposed to be. Because if the Jedi Order had done their job, if they were the Jedi they were supposed to be, they would have found out Palpatine was the Sith Lord right away, ended all of that, got more shit involved. You know, like they wouldn't have gotten involved with politics so much either.
Yeah, and that's something that happened just over the course of the centuries. Is the Jedi Order, like they were there and they were doing everything they could to be keepers of the peace and guardians of light. But then the more and more they got bogged down by politics, the more they had to get involved in the political scene. And it just ended up slowing them down and preventing them from actually like doing what they needed to do. It also didn't help that they built the temple over a dark side shrine.
Yes, and I also
that didn't help.
Point out that Yoda even states in the Rebels that the Jedi Order was clouded by the dark side, and they were clouded by their judgment of the war.
Mm-hmm.
The Jedi were definitely going to get involved in the Clone Wars no matter what. They were keepers of the peace, and they were trying to bring the peace and end the war, and they had to get involved. So that is like perfectly understandable. But like there's like a couple flaws with everything how it was done in the Clone Wars, but I'm not gonna go into that rant besides like I'll say one thing, and that is why would you trust a clone army that was suspectedly given to you by a bounty hunter?
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna go into that entire rant though on tangent. But all I'm saying is
That's a rant for another
that's
day.
a rant for another day. We'll talk about like Republic Empire. Like if you guys want us to talk us about like all that shit, we'll do it. But like here's where I come from. The Empire, like I said, the Empire comes along, ends the war, mind you, ends the war because technically it's considered the Empire did end the war. They killed I think Palpatine probably took credit for it, killed all the Separatist leaders, killed the Jedi who were quote unquote trying to kill him and were evil, and 3, he ends the war officially and he brings peace, stability, and security to the galaxy. To a lot of people, that is good. That is good. And actually, what the Empire was upholding was perspective. But what the Empire is doing, with the Empire, I voice cracked on purpose because I voice cracked just when I said that again. But what the Empire was doing was not right. The Empire was bringing down was enforcing their way, was trying to bring down freedom of speech, all this and that. But like, no, let's get into politics of the galaxy wide war. It seems like a short conversation. You're right. Let's go right into it. But I'm just saying, Andor episode 6 shows that, and it does show the Imperial perspective. It may not show of like how they're the good guys, how they're doing the best of things, but the Empire does show that like not everybody in the Empire is like everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. Overall, it's been good. It's been very good so far, and the Empire has been doing a good job in its own way.
So an easy thing to compare, like for some, I know looking at a galaxy wide war, it's kind of hard to get perspective because us as just mere normal Earth beings, we only see like country versus country kind of conflicts. But here's an easy way to compare an easy conflict to compare it to the Irish insurgency in Northern Ireland. So for decades, the IRA, which has been labeled a terrorist group by the world governments, have been actively attacking the British establishment, trying to get them to leave Northern Ireland. That way, Ireland can become whole again. But from their point of view, they are the good guys. They are trying to do what is right for Ireland, or do what's right for Ireland. But to the British, they've had that territory for so long. It's been in their country for centuries, and there are people in Ireland that agree with the British. So the British are viewing themselves as the good guys. So it's just one side will view themselves as the good guys, and the other side will view themselves as the good guys. But when it comes down to like brass tacks, politically and just based off like their methods, the IRA are the bad guys. No matter how pure their intentions are, it's their methods.
Yes,
and it's the same thing with the Rebel Alliance.
Yeah, you could. Yeah,
they have the purest of intentions. They want freedom for the galaxy from oppression.
Yeah,
but their methods are not clean.
Well, let's get back into Andor, not real life.
Well, it's good to have the parallels. I'm sorry.
I get where you're going at. But okay. Let's just break it down to this episode. Like I said, very tense episode in its very own way. Good job on Lieutenant. I think we talked about this last week, but good job on Lieutenant Gorn for doing his job and playing the cards really fucking well. Like he set that all into motion. He tricked everybody. Like, props to Lieutenant Gorn. I will give that man all the credit he deserves right now. Good for him. Now, it was very tense, like leading up into the facility, and to see like what the Empire is planning. By the way, very interesting what they are planning. But I think overall, for how should I say this? Trying to figure out how to put it into words. Like the Empire's planning, obviously, to just wipe out the entire valley eventually. Oh my God. But like they're trying to wipe out that entire valley. like good job for the Empire's planning, and they've done a pretty good job of it. And I want to point out, it also kind of goes back to what that one dude, the old dude in Mandalorian, said at season 1. Blanking on his name, I'll have to do a rewatch of it. I'll call him the buyer, like the buyer. We'll call him the buyer now. But great thing that he said: everything the Empire touches turns into greatness. And I want to point out that fact because what the Empire is doing out of that planet, yes, it sucks. They're relocating people, but they put those people in good homes. If you know what I'm talking about, they said they had relocated them to like housing areas and housing districts for them to live in. You know, good on the Empire. Fuck the Empire for turning that entire beautiful valley into a shit show. That's
but also you have to look at like, yes, they gave the people housing, but to those people they didn't need housing. They were living off the lands.
What?
What? You would say that again?
Yeah, you're a rebel. You're a rebel sympathizer.
When did that turn into a fucking rebel flag?
You're a Mandalorian too. Are you still upset that we purged your entire people?
Are you still salty you lost the war?
Plot armor won them now. Alright. Are you still salty that you got like your entire home just pop out of existence?
Cheap shot. I'm sorry, I didn't have to use nukes to win a war.
Really?
We had better training, better tactics, better soldiers.
Imagine letting a bunch of bombs drop on your capital and like having no fighter support to ever defend against that. Imagine that.
Imagine backhanded tactics to attack a ally and wipe out their entire fighter defense just because one person defected.
You killed Gar Saxon. That was our allies. Okay. No. We're gonna talk about this. I'm gonna talk about this right now. You got me on this rant. You both got me on this rant. Okay. I'll shut up. We'll keep it showed up there for a while. Okay. We lost to fucking plot armor.
What are you talking about? Plot? What is this plot armor? We don't know what plot armor is. We know the war.
Every time the rebels, or I don't have plot armor on the side, you see how fucked they get. I want to point out we killed 2 of those bitch. I mean, they kind of did shoot a lot of their own, but still, we killed 2 of your bitches on Andor episode 6. Okay, but like when you guys don't have plot armor, you guys lose. Yeah, that is true. Imagine winning for a few years just to go back to square one 30 years later. Thank you, Kurt. High five. But plot armor. We're not gonna go into that. Plot armor. You guys want to go to plot armor. Episode 4 proves it.
An L's an L. Take your L and walk away.
Take your L too. You got smacked in the face by the Empire. We made you our bitch. But
yet we still stand, and the Empire does not.
You stand because you like went into caves. That's what we're saying. You stand because you went into hiding. Who put you there?
No, that's the Children of the Watch. They're cowards. We're not. Back to Andor.
Okay, like I was saying, very good all the way right up to the 10th part. Then it was very interesting to see just the entire card table change with like us taking out. Basically, we got the upper hand on the Commandant. You know, we like thank you to Gorn and all of him, but like it was very intense going up to that entire facility. You know, that entire part. Well done to like they took it over very fast. I'll give them that. They didn't shoot anyone surprisingly. Well, because you don't want to shoot and make a lot of noise. Successfully like got everybody into one area, was able to watch, you know. Like overall good part. Who was the other fucking idiot decided to pull out a gun? What was that guy? Who was that idiot? I forget his name. But our lovely idiot that decided to pull the gun got himself shot and killed. But
yeah.
I think that was the only Imperial casualty all the way up to the entire, basically when the officer arrives. Which I think me and Charlie pointed out. Good on him. Good on him, you know? like good at his job. I gave him that. Like he instantly knew something was up. Like why would communications be down? You know, like why is like if our communications down because of the eye and all this meteor shower that happened, shouldn't the Arkenzie channel also be down? You know,
Yeah.
like good on him for doing his job and figuring shit out, and good on him for getting like a good force to go with him into the underground and take it out. You know.
Yeah. Because like speaking from like a military perspective, if I got the day off because there was some astrological thing going on, and then some douchebag runs in and is like, hey, we don't have comms, but the other base does. I'm like, okay, not my problem.
Yeah.
It's my day off. I want to enjoy my day off.
Well, man, this guy's got like at least like 10 men. They go down there of him, you know.
Yeah.
So like, good on him because they always went down there, and I love how the Commandant has a heart attack. Like sad, but like, man,
Well,
just
it's honestly repercussions for his actions. He got so complacent and allowed himself to get fat and out of shape that he couldn't take the stress.
Yeah, and he literally had a heart attack. That man is dead. I mean, he's probably dead actually.
Yeah,
you can still live from a heart attack, but he's probably dead. Could have called it. He's probably dead. But
they took a big risk with going into that base because it seemed like a fairly small contingent of soldiers there. Soldiers, not troopers, because it's the Imperial Army, not the Stormtrooper Corps. Because when it comes to like small contingents, they usually know everybody's face. They get to the point where they know, like they may not know you on a personal level, but they know your face.
Well, it's also very interesting because when they said they were coming from Alkenzie, I thought it was like a moon, you know, like there's an Alkenzie moon base somewhere, you know, around that. They were coming.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was going to be like an entire like actual air base, like not from them, which makes sense. They wouldn't know people from there because Alkenzie Air Base is pretty far out, you know.
Yeah, it takes like I think they said like 8 minutes for a TIE fighter from Alkenzie to get to where they were at.
Yeah. We'll talk about that scene in a second, because that was a dope ass scene. But like going down there and not knowing what's happening fully was a big risk for them because 10 of these guys probably had the day off and they were like, fuck it, okay, we'll go down there. They all go down there and they see the Commandant, Lieutenant Gorn, and a bunch of other like Alkenzie guys they don't know, and everybody loading credits up for some odd reason that they were not told about at all, you know. So like I would be really confused too, and then props on the office, like the communications dude, for immediately shooting Lieutenant Gorn.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense that he would like just because he realized they didn't have comms, but the Alkenzie channel did have comms. And then there's communications coming from within the base. He runs down there with his contingent of dudes. And you have one officer telling you, oh, this is a top secret mission. And he's just perfectly fine. He's just, he may be a little upset, but he's not like heated or anything. And you look over and you see the commander of your installation just sitting there pouring sweat. He's not in a work uniform. He's literally in a dress uniform. He's dying, and the lieutenant is like, Commandant, tell them, Commandant. It's a dead giveaway that.
Yeah, it's a dead giveaway, but I feel like it's also like you don't know who to trust, and you have no point to shoot now, you know? Because they were fired upon first. Mind you, the squad did not fire upon first. They were fired upon.
Yeah.
And that's when they returned the fire. So, like, they shot Lieutenant Gorn. Like, good props to them for shooting Lieutenant Gorn.
I still find it hilarious that they still do hangings in the Star Wars galaxy.
Yeah.
Because he's like, you'll hang for this. Unless it's just like how it is sometimes nowadays. Like nowadays they'll still say that, but we don't hang people.
Yeah, like they're
it's just it's a threat. It's just like you're gonna die for this. But like It's the Empire. We know they definitely hang people.
Like for sure, hang people. But like, that was a very intense scene because you had Arvel, you had Tamarin, all they were kind of where the credits were. They were trapped right there. You have Andor on the ship. You have our kid Karis. You have Bell. They're kind of trying to hold their ground, trying to push these Imperials back. And mind you, it's kind of like a mixed shooting background because they're trying to shoot. They take like reference. They have the high ground.
Mm-hmm.
They have the high ground, so they have the advantage of shooting down onto them.
Yeah.
But they're taking cover in places, so it's kind of hard to shoot them. You don't know who really to trust that much. I think like in total, like at least three to five guys went down.
Mm-hmm.
Like 3 to 5 guys. I think of the Imperial Unit went down, and I don't think like they're dead. I think some of them got hit in the shoulder and like it just went down. Because mind you, getting shot in the shoulder doesn't kill you.
No, it just hurts. It hurts like a bitch,
and you go down instantly.
Mm-hmm. And see, like, here's something else that people don't like realize is, well, this is where like Star Wars varies from real life. Real life, you get shot by a gun, your bone is going to fragment and it's going to cause further injuries inside your body. With a blaster, it's not a laser; it's supercharged gas. So you're not going to have that fragmentation of the bone, but you are going to suffer severe third-degree burns in that area. Which, speaking from personal experience, third-degree burns suck.
Yeah, you're instantly going down like a second.
Like
no time, you're going down. But overall, I honestly thought more of them were going to die in that scene. Like I would have suspected. No offense. I was talking to Don about this. I thought Karis, the kid with the manifesto, the Communist Manifesto. I joked about saying that. Every time they brought up manifesto, I instantly thought the Communist Manifesto. literally, you gotta look at it. It's the Communist Manifesto in its own way. But I thought he was gonna die in that entire sequence. Didn't though.
He died later.
He gets crushed.
Oh yeah,
cruncher.
Because like, as soon as I saw them load the credits on there and not secure them because they start getting shot at, I was like, well, that's gonna come into play here soon.
Yeah, they're getting man got crunched,
Yeah.
crushed. But I feel bad for Tamara. Tamara tried to go for it. He got shot down. But good for them at least. Airbell, Bell, Karis, and Andor all got out. Andor wasn't gonna die. All of them get out. We obviously literally the manifesto, but like obviously Karis gets crushed between the credits. He gets they didn't load one securely on, and it just rolled right on back when they shot out.
Yeah. So it crushed his spine.
He was instantly gonna die from there. I knew he was gonna probably die or be paralyzed for the rest of his life. But when so cool act scene though, the eye sequence.
Oh yeah, that was a beautiful scene.
Good. Also, go back to the communicator, dude. Good on him to learning the Alkenzian base that someone's faking their channel.
Yeah.
And they instantly got 3 deployed TIE fighters. Fucking beautiful ass sequence. This loading of TIE fighters. And I already knew how a TIE fighter worked. We've already seen sequences of it, but the scene in live action from that perspective was such a beautiful shooting.
It was chef's kiss. That was beautiful. But no, so there's something I want to talk about since I wasn't here to talk about the previous 2 episodes. Is their immediate distrust of Cassian. Obviously, he did come in on a lie and all of that, but when you're hosting a rebellion, hired help is not unheard of, and usually they're better than the people that are actually fighting the war for the cause.
Yeah.
And it's also not unheard of to have hired help on a heist. And again, they're usually better.
Now, mind you, I've heard the complaint they trusted him way too fast after he said that. Well, at least he told them the fucking truth. He literally said, I was hired here.
Yeah.
I'm getting paid to be here. So cool on you. High five. Good on him. They immediately kind of trust him afterwards because, You have to.
They trusted him out of necessity.
Out of necessity because you have to. And he would have, in my opinion, if he was an Imperial spy, you would have already gave him out after seeing everything.
Yeah.
The Imperials would have just whoop, take out.
Yeah.
But like, good on them for doing it. Good on them. Now that entire sequence of us dealing with flying through the eye. Wow.
I would like to point out that is one of the few examples of a non-force sensitive pilot actually being a top tier pilot.
Yes.
Because even with a flight plan, flying through that kind of meteor shower is
props to the TIE fighters as well.
Yeah, but they got crushed. So
they got crushed in the end because Andor's a top. He's a top tier pilot. Man also let's give another example of that man being a top tier pilot. Man successfully without somehow getting killed in the process, jumped the hyperspace in the planet's orbit when like everything was collapsing on top of him.
Mm-hmm.
Great example of another top tier pilot. You had a flight plan to help him navigate that entire asteroid field. Give props to the other two TIE fighter pilots that stuck with him and were able to be like follow him and like kind of do their own routes.
Yeah.
They got crushed in the end because Andor took a certain way out and the meteors were just flying in and it's So like props on him, but props on those TIE fighter pilots. Those guys awesome. And it was like I want to point out that someone so Greek put this out earlier before we got to it. TIE fighter, like they really emphasized on that TIE fighter sound.
Mm-hmm.
It is a scary ass noise when you hear that.
And here's the thing: is they weren't supposed to sound like that when they were designing the TIE fighter. It was actually supposed to be almost entirely silent. But then the ion drives, when they would fire and they would get their exhaust, it created that screeching noise, and the developer saw it as like a way of psychological warfare, like strike fear into the enemy. So they're just like, we'll leave it. And now it's like the First Order could have fixed it, but now they left it in because it's a psychological thing. People hear that and they get scared.
Yeah, that noise like also kills your ears, Well, over like that entire sequence of them getting out, awesome. And then arriving them on the planet, Arvel. I really liked Arvel. Kind of liked Arvel because he cared about the kid. I think Arvel truly did care about the kid. When they landed on the planet, really interesting to see a four-armed doctor that wasn't
Grievous.
It wasn't Gravis, General Gravis. It wasn't Krell species. Our four-arm species, which is really weird. Why are there so many four-arm species? General Gravis is a cyborg, but still, why are there still so many four-arm species? We've seen them constantly now. But like, that was interesting. I really wanted the kid to live, but I kind of suspected he wasn't going to live because that type of crush would have killed you.
Yeah.
He's just lucky he got to have he lived in a lot of pain, but be dead,
Yeah.
But that entire sequence between Arvel and Andor was very like, what the fuck, Because like we've said, rebels aren't all good, and some of them are fighting it for themselves.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to say like I'm a rebel by heart, but oh, that was going Greek. But like that entire sequence was just very fucked, because he rebelled by heart, but you can't trust no one,
Yeah.
He did it for himself, Now it's really funny. It's really funny. I don't know why I couldn't do math while I had gone home at around 10. No, I got home around 11 o'clock, just taking a shower. Episode finally came out, so I wasn't thinking processly straight, but I was able to watch the episode still. When they said 80 million credits, it was a large ass number. And then when he said split the 40, I did at first realize that was dividing between the two of them only. I was like, that's his cut? Oh my god, that cut on Andor. And then my brain slowly processed it together, as the sequence is still going on. I was like, oh, wait a minute. 80 divided by 2 is 40 million credits.
And it was in that moment when he was talking about that it showed that even though Andor doesn't really believe in the cause, he believes in the cause more than him.
Yeah, he was still willing to like. Andor may be in it for himself or may not be in the cause, but he's still an honorable person.
Yeah.
You know, which like good on Andor. Good on him. I don't. Okay, so maybe we'll talk about her after, but dude, he's the fastest draw in the West. Me and Ben, you obviously know Ben, but me and Ben are
Mhm.
talking because obviously once he's talking about like dropping, like I think Andor, but I think this as well. I think Arvel was going to kill Andor somewhere else. 100%. I think Arvel would have killed Andor and taken the money for himself
Oh yeah.
by the end. So I think Andor knew that as well. So when Andor like drew the gun and bah, and like just blasted him out of existence, like I think Andor knew it hard. And Andor, like, still, he only took 200,000 out of 80 million,
Yeah.
like, and it was really interesting. But like, me and Ben are talking about this as a joke. Never being alone in the same room with Andor, you're probably gonna get shot in the end. Doesn't have the cleanest track record.
Yeah. So one thing I want to talk about is let's cut away from all the high action stuff and let's go talk about Mon Mothma.
Oh, okay, go on.
It's honestly heartbreaking to see that her family doesn't even support her. Her husband and her daughter don't support her when she's just she's not trying to lead an insurrection. She's just trying to do right by people and get people the basic necessities for
Well,
life.
I
And
think real quick, the dad. Sorry, just pause you real quick. The dad, the husband, douchebag.
oh
I,
yeah,
I
100%.
I think a kid is like. I think the kid's like a kid. You're trying to soften up to the other person to get like the one that's going to give in to you more. So
Mhm.
or you're going to argue with the mom, but maybe doesn't give in to you more. I kind of get where the kid's coming from, but yeah, it still sucks.
Yeah. But just like watching all of that, it's just like, damn,
I want
she
to.
did not have it easy.
It's even more sad that no one gave a shit about what she was saying.
Yeah.
No one gave a flying fuck. They were all
But
willing to look at something else.
and that brings me to my next point. We look at all the scenes from the Senate, like time in the Senate during the Republic era. That room is packed. And then we see um this time period.
Palpatine's not even there.
No, nobody's there. It's
Palpatine's
just
not
like, well, this is definitely a sign that the government has failed, and they're
no.
not out. They're not trying to do good anymore.
My opinion's a sign that Palpatine won. I tell you the Senate. I mean, it makes it so it's so much explains how the Senate was dissolved so easily.
Yeah,
But yeah, like casually, like everybody was like, "Oh my god!" I don't get. I mean, like, yeah, that was. But overall, like that was like, oh my. You can tell the Senate's failed. Even though I'm happy to see the Senate, you can tell where the Senate's at. It's not the best places ever.
no.
It's totally not.
Oh, and then our friend from the first three episodes. I forget his name.
Lupin.
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 I feel bad for him because like his mom is just trying to force a life upon him, and he's just trying to. He wants
Luthen.
it.
No,
He,
wait, sorry, not Luthen. You're talking about his name is Sorrel.
oh, Sorrel, yeah. But just the fact that his mother's basically now trying to shove a life onto him, and he doesn't want to. He's like, he's basically like, shut the fuck up, mom. I just got fired by the Empire. Like I didn't even work for the Empire, and the Empire fired me.
Empire's like, get the fuck out of my way. I do want to point this out though. Yes, the Empire literally dropped him in a heart. Literally dropped both of them in a heartbeat. Like all that entire. Well, because the Empire wants control. That's why the Empire also was like, goodbye. But I want to point out that much of the Empire did drop him in a heartbeat. What was I going to go with? Yeah,
He was not following orders. I got Greek. I got to talk about this. He was not following orders. He got overzealous because his commanding officer told him these men died heroically trying to help somebody, but they were in the wrong place at the wrong time. Nothing too heroic because he knew that if they pursued it, that the Empire would get dragged in and it'd turn out bad for everybody. And that's exactly what happened. Kurt, no.
Kurt.
But Shane, what are your thoughts on what Greek said?
Yeah, I would agree with Greek. He didn't deserve it. He was trying.
He didn't deserve it, but he wasn't following orders. He was overzealous.
He was trying to do a good thing of avenging the soldiers that he lost, but I think he should have listened to the chief because the chief knew they tried to get involved in this on a man that they really cannot find. Like they found him very easily, but like a man, mind you, the chief was right. The man like took out 2 of our guys very easily. You know, like we don't know what he's capable of. The Empire wants to shut us down anyway. You know, like we have to be careful about like what each step we take, who we go after. You know, blah blah. You know, so I get that, but like he wasn't. I don't think he deserved it. He didn't deserve it. But I have a theory that he's going to somehow end up in the ISB court.
Well, I have a different theory. I think he might become at least a sympathizer for the rebellion.
Probably.
Because think about it. He worked hard to build his life to where he was at, and then the Empire, he messes up once. Granted, it was a massive fuck up, but he messed up once, and they took it all away from him.
But here's my thing. Who would you rather sympathize with? Yeah, the Empire came in, fucking killed him out, blah blah blah. Just for one ass mistake. The Empire kind of already does that anyway. You make one mistake in front of Vader, he chokes you the fuck out like it's no tomorrow. You know, Vader's just an angry little man. You know, he's an angry little man. But like the Empire
stands at 6 foot tall, 6 foot 6 inches tall, just little man.
Remove the suit, he's half that. But who would you want more? The man? Who would you want to sympathize more? The guys who got you, who made you lose your job, and who got like 6 of your men killed, or would you rather help the Empire track him down and kill him?
I mean, I can see both, but at the same time, if you go back and watch the scene where the Empire's saying, "Hey, fuck off," he is visibly angry at the Empire. And now because of the Empire, he's having to sit at home back on Coruscant and have his mother try and force a life upon him. And he is not about it. He probably wants to get revenge on Cassian, but I could see him not. I could see him like at least being a sympathizer, maybe not joining the cause, but at least being a sympathizer.
But this is what I can also say. I can see that. Yeah, I can agree with you. I can see that, but I can see him becoming a part of the ISP court, helping Frida out with hunting down Cassian. You know, it could go either way. I agree. It can go either way. Pointing out the ISB AG board, that was very interesting how they got involved. You know, I thought they'd be like the Imperial Navy or like the Imperial Navy or the Imperial Army, like the actual Imperial Stormtrooper Corps, like you got involved, you know, instead of the ISB Corps. Well, the ISB Corps literally hadn't like literally brought what's his name? Major Partagas. So I have the entire. But why I keep looking over here? So I have the Andor list pulled up, you know, because I forget names very easily. I can remember a face, but I can forget names. But Major Partagas, I think that's what his name is, or Maester Kyber from Game of Thrones. And you watch that. Major Partagas, give credit for this man. brought in the entire ISB guys and said, "Here's the fuck what's going on," you know?
Yeah.
You know?
And honestly, like up until this point, every time the ISB is brought up, they're being very proactive with like hunting people down.
Yes.
But here we see them being more reactionary to like what's going on, and it's honestly kind of surprising how long it has taken them to get involved.
Yes.
Because like if we look at Rebels, we look at just about any like Galactic Civil War era media, the ISB is usually on top of their game and they're being very proactive with hunting people down.
Yeah. Another funny thing though is you weren't here for 4 and 5. You weren't here, but I had told you watched 4 and 5. Well, I know you did. You wouldn't be here watching talking about 6. But like I was talking about Kurt. Not Kurt. I was talking about Don with this. Yes, Kurt. We're not gonna talk about it though. But I was talking to Don about this. I was like, I love how he ate his own words though. His great fucking analogy about what they do. You know, they want these blah blah. She gave him though straight up evidence and facts that this is happening, and he was like, okay.
Yeah, it's the Empire. They're corrupt to their core. Like there are good people in the Empire, but the Empire as a whole is corrupt.
Yes.
Like obviously she's an ISB agent, so she's not meant to be the good guy. But she is from what I can see, she's a good person. She wants to do right by the Empire because probably the Empire is the most she's known. And then the Empire, and then her superior's just like, no. Get out of here with that, Shane.
I don't think. Okay. When I talk about eating his own words, I mean, she brought up evidence, but I can also. I mean, I also did talk about this down earlier, but I can also see why he doesn't believe it because it goes back to the point. It's too spread out.
Yeah.
You know.
But that itself is kind of like, that's suspicious.
You know. Like the guy was right. It's too random to be random.
Yeah.
You know. Well, yeah, they're clearly going to crack down because going back to Cinta stayed on the planet. Obviously, that was the one that stayed back. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's a local there. That's what I'm piecing together. I think she's a local and she doesn't want to leave her planet, but
she is local.
But the gay energies between Vel and Cinta.
Oh yeah.
But no, I don't. See, look, I'll show you my ceiling. So there's a fan. Boom. But I think next up because there's still the Imperial Star Destroyer scene that we have not gotten yet.
Mm-hmm. And there's still the crackdown on Cassian, not Cassian's homeworld, but where he was living.
Yeah.
We haven't seen the troopers marching. We haven't seen the troopers marching through the street yet.
Because I think what's going to happen is Drita, Drita is going to something's going to happen. I think she's going to be sent to that planet to figure out what the fuck happened with an Imperial Star Destroyer, by the way, which is fucking scary. I think she's going to be sent there. She's going to piece it together that the same guy that was on this planet now is on this planet. It also links back to this planet. She's finally going to get permission to go in, you know?
Yeah. And speaking of like getting a Star Destroyer sent to a planet, that alone is terrifying. Like if you understand the yield that a singular Star Destroyer has, here's where it gets even more terrifying. And this isn't related to Andor. This is related to greater Galactic Civil War. Thrawn had an entire fleet he could just deploy at any given moment to any planet. Like when we first meet the rebels on Lothal, there is like a small, I mean small Imperial presence there. They caused enough problems for Thrawn to get brought in. He has an entire fleet around Lothal, and his fleet is the second biggest fleet or third biggest fleet.
I think Vader's fleet's the biggest.
Yeah, Vader's is definitely the biggest, but also like it's not wholly Vader's. It's also like technically Palpatine's fleet as well because he could deploy them whenever he wanted. But Vader was always at the forefront of deploying that fleet. But Thrawn's fleet was fucking massive, and he encircled an entire planet with it. Shut down an entire system.
Yeah, the Seventh Fleet considered it's the Seventh Fleet. Who controls the Seventh Fleet now? Blah 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 blah. But who controls the Seventh Fleet? I think it's the Seventh Fleet.
He's also blue.
Yeah, if that man lived, he would have. I think me and Dom they kind of touched on this a little bit, but if Thrawn had lived, a lot of shit would be different. Well, if Thrawn had actually not been taken away by space whales, a lot of shit would be different.
Oh yeah.
I want to point out for some that would make me so upset. No, the biggest fleet in Star Wars is the Final Order. Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm not surprised. But who commanded the Imperial Seventh Fleet? Who commanded the seventh? The Seventh Fleet in the Empire. No, actually, we're both wrong. Thrawn had the biggest fleet. He had control of the Seventh Fleet. The Seventh Fleet is the biggest Imperial fleet in the Empire, and that was Thrawn's fleet. Yeah, the fleet was commanded by Fleet Admiral Sartin until Sartin was replaced by Grand Admiral Thrawn. So yeah, he has.
Back to Andor. I forget how many more episodes do we have left?
6 more.
6?
Well, 7 will make 5 more.
I'm just used to like how they've been making all these shows, but they're like this long. So having a show that's actually like 12 episodes or whatever, that's
nice. It's nice, you know. I think it was a great time to be a Star Wars fan, a Lord of the Rings fan, a Game of Thrones fan, a Marvel fan. Maybe not a little bit of Marvel, but still be like elite. All these franchises got like everything, you know.
Yeah. So what are your predictions for next episode?
I think we're gonna see. I think we're gonna go back to where we were just at. I forget the name of the planet though. I think we're gonna go back to obviously there. I think we're gonna see prediction is we're probably gonna either see 2 things. You're probably gonna see all 3 of these things. Andor, where he's going, blah blah. Drita being sent to. It's probably within her sector. That's why she's gonna go there. She's gonna be sent there. She's figure out what the fuck's going on, what the fuck happened. You know, ask a bunch of questions and all that. Probably gonna see more of Luthen and him getting the credits, but he's probably gonna be like, where the fuck's Andor? You're probably gonna see more Mon Mothma stuff with the Senate, because there's a couple of Senate shots we still haven't seen that we've seen in the trailer, but we have not seen yet in the show.
Mm-hmm.
So 4 predictions: Andor, where he's going, back on the planet with Drita, and seeing from Cindy's perspective the Imperial Star Destroyer arriving. Probably some Bell and Luthen stuff with the credits, like the 80 million stuff that they just got now. And like I said, some more Mon Mothma stuff in the Senate.
I'm thinking we might see more of like maybe a flashback, or maybe Cassian actually goes back to his home world. His search for his sister. I think we might see some of that, and maybe not next episode, but in the coming episodes, like maybe
these four are just listed for the next episode. You know.
Yeah, but like I want to see like how that resolves. Like we haven't heard mention of his sister since the first episode. So like I want to hear more about that.
It's probably right on that search.
Yeah. But I feel like he's going to go. I feel like Andor's probably going to go home, and now that he has the money to like pay back these people that he owes money to, he might go home and try to have a regular life, but end up like getting kind of pulled back into the bullshit.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah. But you never know. I don't know. It could go a couple ways, you know. That's it. That's my episode. It's gonna go a couple ways.
Jesus.
All right, guys.
We're gonna wrap it up here. We've talked about just about all we can talk about.
Unless you want me to go into my Republic rant.
No, that's for another day when we're not talking Andor. But thank you guys for watching. To our people that are not watching it live, that are watching it later on, be sure to like, comment with what your favorite part of the episode was. Not just this episode, but the episode of Andor as well. And subscribe to continue to keep seeing us every week. Where work schedules don't exactly match up, so we're doing our best to get together every week and release an episode. But to stay up to date on everything that's going on with us, go check out our Instagram. It is at Sundari Broadcast. And also there is a link in the description to our Discord server. Feel free to join that. Follow us on Instagram just to stay up to date. And we will see you next week. Shane?
Thank you guys for coming in. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you guys are tuning in later, thank you guys, obviously, Greek and Kurt for being here, giving us the comments, giving us the feedback, helping us out, talking about it all. Overall, I think Andor's doing really good so far. It has the possibility to be second best or even the best of our show, but it just depends where we go out with that. But overall, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you guys for obviously talking. I hope you guys all have a great day. Be safe out there. If you guys want to find me, type in obviously King Faye Official right there that you can see right there. You can find me on TikTok, and obviously from there it'll lead you to the Discord. It'll lead you to our Discord, lead to the Sundari Broadcast system. Basically, can branch you up anywhere if you guys want to talk to us, meet us actually in person. We're fun. We're chaotic. We do a lot of shit that is very chaotic. But yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for joining us. Hope you all have a blessed and wonderful day. And we'll talk to you later. We'll see you later.
May the force be with you.
May the force be with you. And the rain suck.
You wish.